Hello everyone, this is Jonathan with Resale World Technical Support, and this is a video on how to use auto-create listings through the Liberty 5 Listing Manager. I also would like to point out that this feature will work with ShopRW and eBay to an extent, which we'll cover later on in the video. So, under normal circumstances, there are two methods of pushing an item up to Shopify. The easiest method would be the method we're going to cover right now. This method involves going into Listing Manager, turning on a feature that allows you to create auto listings or auto create listings that will push the item straight up to Shopify just by entering it into the inventory module and also making sure that certain required things are done to the item. And this includes adding at least a single image to the item or adding a weight, and you have control over this. The second method I'll link in this video is to have a separate web item entry person edit the item and actually sync it up themselves to Shopify. And this involves having your regular item entry person enter the item in, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't have an image. They don't have to be aware of the web item entry process at all. They just add the item like normal. And then later on, a web item entry person will go into the listing manager, add a listing, and then push it up to Shopify themselves. Gives them a little bit more control over what that description says in Shopify, separate from what the tag says, the printable tag that is. And just overall more control, more definition. So to start off with, using this method, we're going to go ahead and open up the listing manager. Then we're going to go to settings. Next, options. We'll go ahead and sign in. And from here, we're going to go to our storefront settings area here. And we're going to make sure that a couple of things are checked. So looking at this, we're going to go over this screen real quick. You have require at least one image check. Definitely recommend to set this so that way you don't accidentally have any items go up without any images ever. And then the second one's not as important, but you can require a shipping weight if you are using calculated shipping. Now keep in mind, this does require each item to be weighed if you do use this feature. And depending on what platform you're using, whether it's Shopify or eBay or ShopRW, each platform has its own way to control whether this is in pounds or in ounces. So you definitely can contact, in the case of Shopify, the Shopify gurus. We can help you figure out where this is in ShopRW, and it is controlled in Liberty for the other option as far as whether you want it to be in ounces or pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because I don't need this. The other options we have in here for this are use automatic markdowns in the storefront, which basically means that you can send up your markdowns to Shopify, and then from there, the items will actually mark down or discount based on what your markdown dates are set to. So if you have it set to 10% off after 30 days, 10% off after 60 days, and 30% off after 90 days, it'll go ahead and take care of that automatically on Shopify for you. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that checked. Display active auctions on storefront really only pertains to buy it now items. So it is possible to have a buy it now item go to eBay, also have a separate listing for Shopify. So if you sell it on Shopify, it'll automatically get taken care of off of eBay. Same thing if you sell it on eBay or the brick and mortar store, it just automatically gets taken care of, so you don't have to worry about stock inconsistencies. So I'm going to leave that checked. And finally, this is the feature that controls whether we're going to create automatic listings for Shopify, ShopRW, or eBay. So I'm going to go ahead and checkmark this, and we're going to leave Shopify checkmarked. Now, there is one thing to note with eBay Buy It Now. So if you do happen to checkmark eBay Buy It Now, yes, the listing will get created in Listing Manager, but it will not automatically go to eBay. It still requires somebody to look at that listing to make sure that you have your category value set properly, since eBay categories are completely separate from Liberty. It also requires that you have your item specific set appropriately as well. So that's why we don't automatically send stuff up to eBay Buy It Now, is because there generally is more stuff to touch with that. As far as Shopify is concerned, with this feature enabled, if I add an item into Liberty, and I set it to web item, as long as these prerequisites up at the top are set properly, it'll go straight to Shopify, and that's what we're going to demonstrate in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this set the way it should be here. We'll click OK, and then I'm going to go back into my Liberty 5 inventory module. I'm going to go to my account list here, and then we'll open up John Doe here. Now I'm going to add a new piece of inventory. For my category, we're going to make this a jacket. I'm going to go ahead and move down my attributes here, and we'll say this is a tomboy jacket. Size we'll say is large. Color we'll say is black. And then for my description, we'll say this item includes some buttons. There we go. Next, we'll have our price. I'll say this item is $60. Our price code still applies here. We can put in a weight if we want. So I'll say that this jacket's approximately a pound here. And then what I'll do is we'll go ahead and add some images to this item. So I'm going to click the add button over here to the right. And I got some training images that we have of a jacket already. So I'm just going to double click on train images here. And the cool thing about Liberty 5 is we can actually select more than one image now so that we can attach very quickly multiple images. So I'm going to go ahead and just lasso some of these here. And I'll use my shift key to select the last two. And then we'll click open. And now we can see all these images are attached to this item. So if there's something wrong with the image on the item, we can double click on any of the images to the right. And then we can adjust the contrast, the brightness. We can rotate the image if it's the wrong direction. We can also resize the image here. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK on this because everything's fine with it. Now finally, to send this item up to Shopify, all we should need to do is just checkmark the web item checkmark box here. So once this is checked, I hit save. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our listing manager and we're going to see where this item went. So I went to the listing manager, we're going to go to the listings tab, and then we're going to go to the ready tab. So I'll refresh this, and there's our item. So right now this item is ready to go to Shopify. If we were to leave the item here, it'll go up within about 5 minutes. So for the purposes of this video, I'm actually going to push it up right now. So I'm going to double click on this item, and I'm going to uncheck ready to list, which immediately lets me click list now, which is going to send the item up right now. So I'll go ahead and click this. We'll see the please wait dialog box pop up here. And then because it went away and I did get an error, I know it's up on Shopify now. So I'm going to click on the listings tab, and we're going to go to our active tab. And there's our item. Active means that the item is on Shopify or whatever platform that you're pushing it up to. So I can very quickly just right click on this item and then view the listing. And there's my item. I can see all my pictures here. I can see my brand, color, and size, and the additional description that gets added to this item. So as you can see, this is a very, very quick method to get items from point A to point B straight on whatever platform you want to push them up to. This was a video on how to use auto-create listings with Shopify on Liberty 5.